in Circle, there are space groups and spaces. Think of a space group as a category or unifying theme. For example, you might have a community space group that has spaces within it, such as introductions, community guidelines, events and announcements, and so on. Before we create a new space group, we're going to edit this one. To edit a space group, click on the 3 dots next to the space group title and click Edit Space Group. Let's rename this space group to Community. If we were creating a new space group, the custom URL slug would mimic the name here, but since we're editing this one, we need to update the URL slug. Now we're getting into some of our visibility settings. If we toggle hide from non-space members, then only people who are members of spaces within this group will see this. Likewise, if we toggle only show joined spaces in the sidebar, then members will only see spaces within this group that they have chosen to join. Members can click on the space group to see all the spaces within the group, but they won't see every space in the sidebar. Since this is a community space group with information for everyone, we want these to be left off so everyone can see all the information. Next, under permissions, you can allow members to create spaces. Since this space group is more informational, we're going to keep this off. Next, you can add some moderators to the group. And then under members, you can toggle on automatically add members to new spaces within group. This is ideal if you are creating a space group that will have spaces you want every member to be a part of. If you had a space group that was called interest groups, you would probably want to leave this off so members can opt in instead of opt out of spaces. Lastly, you can enable members to be added to every space within a group by just joining one space. So I'm going to toggle these two on, and then I'm going to click on Save Changes. Now let's add a space within the space group. You can either click Create a Space, or you can always click this little plus icon next to the Community Space group. So I'm going to name my first space Introduce Yourself. And if you click on this pound sign here, you can add emojis in front of your space names. Again, you can keep the URL generated from the name, or you can update it to something else like introductions. Similarly to space groups, you can set visibility at the space level. You can hide spaces from logged out visitors, hide the space topics from the homepage if you've enabled it, and you can make the space private. When you toggle Make this a private space, you have the option to hide it completely from non-members. Otherwise, you can have it visible but with a lock symbol and have a custom locked page. Then you can invite or add members. However, if you have a lot of people that you're going to be inviting or adding, I recommend watching the tutorial on inviting and adding members where we dive deeper into this. You can also ensure that members in this space group will be added to this space by default by toggling this on. Next, you can choose the layout of your topics. So you can either have it like a post view or more condensed as a list view or as a card view. If you click this little arrow next to default settings, you have a whole range of settings depending on the nature of your space. You can prevent members from creating topics, from adding others, from creating topics with a title, from creating topics with a cover image, or control on the sort filters on topics. Out of the box, Circle shows you a list of members and pinned topics on the right sidebar. So if you want to hide this, you would toggle this on. Then you can set default sort for topics, comments, and members, and then you can create a custom label for pinned topics and new topic prompts. Pinned topics are topics that always stay at the top of the page no matter what. And lastly, under default member notifications, you can set the default email and app notification setting for new topics created. I'm going to go ahead and turn these off and click create space. Now we have our first space within our first space group. Now if you want to create another space group, you would hit this plus sign here. We'll call this one interest groups and click create. And now you can see the two different space groups. And then again, if you want to create a new space, you can click this plus sign here. To create a new space within a space group that already has a few spaces, or you can again click on create space. So now that we have some spaces, let's explore setting some of these up. So on this introduce yourself space, if we click on the settings icon here, we can leave a space, edit a space, or delete a space. We're going to edit. And now it's the same settings we just went through, but if you go down to the bottom, you now have the option to add some meta tags for SEO purposes and Open Graph title, description, and images. If you're not sure what Open Graph is, I recommend clicking on this What is Open Graph and exploring it more. You can also now set space moderators for this space. So let's click out of this, and now you have this notifications icon, and if you click this, you can set the notifications for email and in-app notifications for yourself. And you can add members to this space, and you can also look at the members here by clicking on the members tab. But for now, we're going to create a new topic. So I could add a title, and I'll show you the different options. Add a title, welcome to the community. You can add a message, and then under advanced settings, you can add custom HTML, you can customize the URL slug, and you can upload a cover image if you want. So I'm gonna upload a welcome image and click save. And now I have the option to keep myself as the author, or I could change it to someone else. I also can move this topic if I wanted to or needed to a different space. I can also hide the author details and the post date if I want this to be more of an evergreen topic. And if you want, you can disable comments and likes, and you can prevent the text being cut off and saying see more if you are posting a longer post. And then I am going to pin the topic to the top, so it's always there when someone joins this space, and I'm going to hide it from the featured areas. So once you've set this up, you can click post topic, and now we have welcome to the community. I can go back, and you have a lot of different options here. I'm going to edit the topic and remove the title and save my changes. And so now I have this welcome image pinned to the top. If I go back into the space itself, it's here. And now if I were to create another topic and post it and go back into that general space area, you can see that this didn't replace this topic. So now I have a nice greeting to people that are coming into this space to introduce themselves. So now you know how to create space groups and spaces and how to get started with building out your spaces. If you have any questions, reach out. Thanks for watching.